change the tuning, change the pressure, change all this stuff in the ignition, and do as much we can to get the horsepower back where it is, get the torque low and high, and make the drivability come back. And for that, we have the Scorcher Plus, which is here, and I will have Chris talk about it in a minute. And also, this has to go with air intake system, the Momentum intake. We have a stock intake here, and let me go back and find out what we are looking for. So, stock intake flows 320 CFM. This is done at 7 inches of water, roughly a quarter PSI. At 7 inches of water restriction, the losses due to the pumping is minimal for the horsepower. That means you don't lose horsepower, you don't lose torque because of the induction track. The factory flows 320 CFM. At air-fuel ratio of 14:5, which is a stoichiometric, means equal percentage of fuel, complete combustion, you need 373. For maximum power, which is really 18:1, you need 463. Air-fuel ratio is very different for the gasoline than it is on a diesel. So diesel, the harder it runs, the better it is. Anything less than that, your diesel is going to be about 13 or so, the diesel is going to smoke. Discuss is this ratio, 14:5 to 1. That means for every pound mass of fuel, you need 14.5 pounds of air. So you cannot make more horsepower without adding more air. That's very simple. To get more horsepower, you need to have fuel, and fuel is going to generate the heat is going to pull the air in. So these two are a must-have. So Justin, you've installed the Momentum up here, and you also have the stock. So start with the Momentum. Tell us what's going on with this.
Yeah, we had a couple of challenges here. So the stock intake, although it looks like it's got a large tube, the inside of the tube has a muffler, so the flow path was quite a bit smaller here. It's quite a bit restricted on the air filter size. As you can see, it's a large air box, but that's because it's got a scoop integrated into it as well, so the air filter size is quite small. So in order to increase the airflow, we had to do a couple things. We integrated the scoop into ours too, but it dumps right into the top, which gives us a lot more room for a large air filter, while still providing a seal here to help with the hot air.
I see this scoop on the side.
Yep.
I know you had a lot of challenges designing about this. Tell me what is this all about? Why does that look so strange here?
Yeah, so one of the things Jeep does here, they put this scoop so high for water fording. So a lot of the times it'll have air coming in from the front of the vehicle, it dumps out underneath the box, and it ends right about here. So there's a disconnect on that. The air has to make its way up and over into this snorkel, which prevents water from coming directly from the front of the vehicle into the intake. So really what they're trying to do here is make a disconnect between the front of the vehicle and the air intake for water path. In doing so, they provide this seal here to block out all the hot air, and then it funnels back down into the bottom half of the air box to pass through the air filter and then back through the intake tube.
Explain to me, I've seen some intakes in the market,
yeah,
they go right directly here. They take the easy path. Tell me
yeah,
what is wrong with them? What is their major malfunction on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going direct from the engine and bay directly to the air filter in, I mean, you're pulling a lot of hot air. A lot of the openings are quite a bit lower, so you have the risk of water entering your intake. So we really spent some time trying to make sure that we maintain the water fording height of the stock intake here. Really the idea was we wanted to get a larger filter in there. So the stock air box, if we maintain the air box, we're limited, like on our rapid induction, to this size filter because it's got to fit within the parameters. So replacing the air box gave us an opportunity to increase the filter size on this. And then based around this filter, we designed the air box. So this still maintains the stock air scoop coming in from the bottom, so you can see the channel here. And then bolts in using all the factory mounting locations, and includes a scoop to prevent the hot air from entering the vehicle. You still, all of our Momentum intakes here have the window in the top, so you can inspect the filter without disassembly. And then we integrated a tire tread design just for the off-road lifestyle. During our testing, we were trying to eliminate the components and the number of parts that we include in the intake. But one of the things that we found was opening the intake up and reducing that restriction was causing a check engine light with the crankcase ventilation. So we needed to pull more vacuum on the system. So if you look inside here, we were able to make a vent tube that is right in the center of the air intake path, which will help pull vacuum from the crankcase ventilation.
All right, so here what we have is a chart, 395 CFM. There are charts up here. This is our Pro 10 media, the dry washable, the Pro Guard 7, the best filtration, and the stock 320. So the idea first was unlock the mechanical restriction. Before we do anything else, we need to unlock that. If you don't unlock that, you're gonna waste a lot of time and energy pumping more air. Yes, you can get more horsepower, you can get more torque, but you're gonna pay a price in fuel economy, you're gonna pay a price in the delay, and also on drivability.